Whose decision was it? So mutagenic chunks was a removal that was a very long time coming, and it wasn't just one dev who expressed the opinion that it should be removed. I think pretty much most of us said at some point, you know, we really ought to remove mutagenic chunks. They're so scummy. Marvin PA has said it. I've agreed with it for a while, but I think there was just some vague resistance to the idea. But the person who basically got that change done was Elliptic. He was the one who really brought it up and said, now would be a really good time for us to do this. Because Neil wanted to unify food, and we had already been through the mutation potion changes that another dev named Brannick kind of made. And so Elliptic was like, his reasoning is basically just this, is that it's impossible to balance mutagenic chunk generation as long as they're tied to monsters, because the monsters that generate them are just these random different kinds of monsters, sky beasts, ugly things. I hope it didn't go offline, but yeah, let me know if it did. So these monsters just have like random distribution, and there's no like thing tied to balancing how many mutagenic chunks are in the game. So what having all those mutagenic chunks does is give the player a really easy way to get a lot of positive mutations. And that's basically what the mutagenic chunks are really designed to do. And some people would say, oh no, that's too risky. You actually can't eat a lot of mutagenic chunks because what if you get a bad mutation? But the practice was that between the potions and the chunks, it's super easy to cure any bad mutations that you might not want and get net positive ones in every single game. And it's basically ideal for almost, you know, for pretty much any player to just try it out because they can basically get rid of it. And so Elliptic's reasoning was just that their positive mutations cumulatively are quite strong, and having such a readily available source to gain a lot of them isn't good for balance. And he also said that there are gods like Zom, who's obviously a challenge god, but this is an aspect of Zom, as well as DeCj Veh, that are built around giving the player access to a large number of positive mutations. So, I mean, I think all of us do agree with that, although we might look into at some point adding in much less available sources of getting some good mutations, but definitely not as yeah, I mean, Pinochet not playing the crazy mutation game of getting tons of good ones is precisely why that change went through. Now, you still can do mutation roulette, and I still do it, I would say, on maybe 50% of characters. I do a little bit of it, depending on the potion availability. So I did some just now and got these 2 positive mutations. I'll probably stop for now because these 2 are decent, and evolution is going to give me some more random ones. But I still, in probably at least half, maybe even most of my games, I still do it some. It just depends on how many potions I get. But yeah, that was a balance change, and it had the support of not just one dev, but several. But it was Elliptic who really sort of brought it up and kind of pushed for it. Neil made the commit, but that's because Neil was the one doing the work on the branch. And he basically did agree that it wasn't good for balance, but not everyone felt like as strongly as maybe Elliptic did. I shouldn't just single him out because I'm sure Marvin PA agrees with that, and I agree with it too. There might be some way to put in a fun access to some more mutation roulette, but it needs to be relatively rare, and definitely not tied to like monster corpses. Yeah, I mean, Neil made the commit, but he's not the one. Yeah, you're not going to get it reverted though, so I wouldn't. I know you're joking anyway, but that is not a change that will be reverted, I can tell you that much. If you could come up with an idea for a source of it that was really like not too crazy, so like think conservative, where the fun thing about the roulette is sort of like the gambling aspect. So there's a couple approaches. What we could do is add back a slightly improved beneficial mutation potion that, like, as just a very rare loot item, like potions of experience or super rare acquirement scrolls. This could be that kind of rarity, and it would give you, say, you know, multiple positive mutations as opposed to just one. The old potion was kind of notorious for giving you one really crappy one. Thanks for the follow, Dag. So that'd be one approach, but that's not really a mutation roulette. That's just like a loot item giving you good mutations. Or some other fun thing that was really pretty limited and that felt like an interesting trade-off of some kind. Wow, miscasts are real. And the Catan. Some serious damage there. Yeah, see, a ring is gonna make it too common. There was talk of a purple fountain, but the problem with it is it just ends up being super close to just finding the potion. It'd be nice if it wasn't like mutation potions too closely, and it was, I don't know, somehow different. And then it could be kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, some people don't like to play it at all because you can, even if you've got like, I mean, I had 7 potions, so the odds of me getting stuck with one mutation that I absolutely hated are just extremely low. But if you say had 5 and started playing with it, there's a chance you might get stuck with something. Probably won't, but there is a chance. And 5 potions is not super easy to come by, so it can be a while before you maybe feel comfortable with it. And some people are just like, I refuse to do it at all. I can't deal with any risk for it, but that's okay. I mean, I think a lot of those people weren't even playing the mutation roulette in the first place, because if you don't want any risk, then that reasoning would have applied back when mutation chunks existed. People who are like eating the purple, as it were not really trying to play too optimally. They were like, in many cases, they were just like going crazy. Super fight. My advice is don't do that. Don't fight an orb of fire and then go Quant mutation. Try to kill them quickly and then try to kill a few before you go curing some of them. Yeah, they're pretty rare, so you can't go crazy. Barring like you finding a crazy shop that has like 9 of them, they're just too, you know, common. They're too uncommon to go absolutely nuts with, or getting like Sigitovi's Fleshworks or something like that. Which again, that's fine. What is control blink? 28%. That means. Oh, well, that's not very good still, but we're getting there. Do I have any more amnesia? Don't. And, well, I don't have amnesia, so I can't unlearn spells, so I can't learn. I would have to get more spell casting to actually even learn this spell, which I might honestly need to do. Might need to consider that. Wouldn't mind getting some more fighting, to be perfectly honest. I don't even have 150 HP yet. Well, Pinochet, I'm going to guess that there were things you could have done to help your odds for getting mutated there. The crazier and the more like brashly you play, the more you're going to run into some of the stuff. But the main thing to consider about an Orb of Fire is you're about to win the game. Orbs of Fire are like not really the balance concern that we really care about too much. they're only relevant, the mutations are only relevant in the sense that they might make you weak enough or inflict you in some way that might get you killed in SOT 5, or theoretically and even more remotely the orb run. So when you're about to win the game, you know, the complaint, oh, I've got negative mutations, it's like, yeah, you've also got like 8 haste potions and all this other stuff, and you're a level 27 character, and you know, a billion teleport scrolls and all that stuff. So when you're about to win the game, you know, Orb of Fire mutations are just not that much of a consideration. Like, you're gonna roll over SOT 5 with a character like that. Toad with a big old host. Hey Toad, what's up? Kraken part 2. Oh no, did it happen again, Toad? Toad's running Final Fantasy World Record attempts, and it's really epic. I recommend you tune into that, because it's pretty awesome. It's a really brutal speed run, and yeah, thanks for that huge host, Toad. Appreciate it. And welcome everyone. This is a different RPG than Final Fantasy. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's a roguelike called Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Where am I going to go? We're going to go to Depths. And this is my last character kind of winning. This is me attempting what's called a 1-and-1. ONEWON. And what that means is I'm playing this combo for the first time and trying to win it in one attempt. And I can't figure out where to go. Oh, I haven't been to... Oh, that's right. I know why. Because of Rupert on D15. Sorry, I got myself confused here. But yeah, we're playing... So I'm going through and doing what's called greateroneandwon, which is where you... Oh, and thanks for all those follows, by the way. Mr. Bonkers, Billy Bunkai, Shema, Baldnate. Sorry if I missed any names there. Oh, minus 11 pace. Yeah, that Kraken, man, that is a brutal boss. Got the follow train going on here. This is Deep Elf Conjurer. So, Deep Elf Conjurer of Vehumet. So, I just happen to have not played this one before. But yeah, this is a greater 1-and-1. So, if you played this game, there's some chivos that people start going for once they know how to win it. And one of those is called Greater Player, where you try to... Well, there's Great Player, where you try to win every... Thank you for the follow. Follows keep coming. Kavik, Drumboardus, Hitari, 09. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So this game I guess I should start from the beginning. This game has species and classes, and when you start the game, you choose a species and you choose a class. So this species is Deep Elf, and the class is Conjurer. And so there's like 630 some odd combos you can choose, and there's like about 26 species, 24 classes, so that those combos add up. And once you start winning this game and kind of getting comfortable, one of the first thing that people try to do is try to win each class and once, and try to win each species once. And if you win all like the 24 classes, we call that Great Player. If you win all the species, we call that Greater. If you do that and win all the species, we call that Greater Player. Thank you for the follow, Action Noobs. Toad hosting my stream for way more viewers than usually show up. But yeah, that Final Fantasy speedrun is awesome. Really reminds me kind of some of the other really difficult ones, like Final Fantasy IV, the any percent. Phantasy Star 4 is absolutely brutal any percent, where you can die anywhere. It honestly reminds me a bit of Phantasy Star 4, because it just seems like that run can get derailed at so many places in Final Fantasy for the any percent. Which is, it's great for viewers. Viewers love watching like all the ways that the run can like kind of go down. Yeah, 10 times viewership. Got my max viewer count. It's funny how Twitch has a little dashboard where you can. Sorry, I'm playing kind of slowly because I'm explaining, and I also don't want to. This is a really squishy character that can just die at the drop of a hat. He's really strong because right now I've got this really overpowered spell called Firestorm, which is this endgame spell, and it's really strong. But if you get yourself in a situation where you get stuck, you have really low HP and really low defenses. This guy Rupert here can paralyze you, so I'm going to Firestorm him. And the Firestorm is good. It's kind of a small Firestorm because he's right at the edge of the LOS area. We call the area that you can view in this game line of sight, which is sort of a confusing term because it's really referring to the entire like 7x7 area, but specifically only the tiles you can see. So in this game, walls block line of sight. So like this tile I can see, but this tile is gray because this wall is blocking it. And most things in this game only work in your line of sight. And like monsters that aren't in your line of sight that can't see you, so like a monster behind this wall right here, he couldn't even target me or try to damage me in any way. But some spells like Firestorm can actually hit out of line of sight, and that makes them super strong. And this one summons these fire vortices in addition to doing just huge amounts of damage. And that's really helpful because it blocks Rupert here from casting spells or even moving. Like right now, he has to kill this fire vortex to even move towards me. So I'm just going to Firestorm him again, and he dies the second time. I actually left this level the last time I was here because oh, there he is. There's WikiHat 94. Best crawl player who's never played crawl because he knows all the secrets. Thanks, too good for the follow, and oh, I already called out action. It's 15 runes, White Hat. I don't want to hear any more of your taunts about this not being legit. I forgot I have that emote in the channel. I guess we're going to depths though. Yeah, I went down here to go to depths, and I noticed that I didn't have the depths entrance. I couldn't use G to go there. If you saw me kind of fumbling earlier, that's why. So now it shows up because I found the stairs. So now we can head into depths. I just need to be careful. I don't have a lot of haste. And the thing that happens with depths is that the entrance stairs can get kind of mobbed with all sorts of stuff, and you might need to run somewhere. And I don't have a character who can just kind of sit in the middle and take some hits, because a lot of the stuff that would hit me would just hit too hard. What do we got right now? So I could preemptively quaff something. Invis is not a bad call. I only got one pot left. There's a plus E and plus Invis shield right there. That would not be a bad little investment, to be honest. Problem is I need to train up 11 more shields to get it castable, and we're just a ways away from that. So we'll just start out by... I do have agile pots. I don't have many of them. I'm actually just going to go down. Okay. So this isn't anything absolutely horrible, but it's still a little bit nasty. It'd be good to fear these. If I go invis, many of them are actually going to shoot me. Some of them are going to hit, probably. And if any of them do hit, it actually is going to kind of hurt. They're sort of spread out, too, so it's not like I can just... Let's start out with invis and see what we get. Okay. don't want to be too loud. So I'm just going to go with... Alright. Yeah, we want to take this a little bit carefully. I don't want to attract like a maximal amount of tension. Once I get the level established, it should be okay. Kermit Comfy is unhappy with the T-Mons. He doesn't like them. So I still don't have Iron Shot. I wish I had that spell. I don't really want to use... I don't really want to use Firestorm if I can help it. Okay, so that cleared out this area with a relatively minimal amount of noise. This is actually not too bad of an entrance stairs because there's lots of walls nearby, so I've got plenty of cover for now, at least. It reminds you of another tentacled creature. Yeah, I can imagine. That Kraken is absolutely brutal. Did he hit you with like... I imagine he hit you before you got up the defense again. Now, if I've got the safe area, it's a little bit better to... I have to watch out because it's really easy to get flanked, so it's not the worst idea to just hang out here near the stairs for a while, because we don't know what's gonna... Well, I firestormed something, but I'm not sure what. Go ahead and signal him a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's really brutal. The attack on that thing is just off the charts. So I'm going to sort of sit here and Firestorm. I might hit multiple things, or I might only hit one. I'm not actually getting too much efficiency out of this right now, which could be a problem. Got a little bit there. So that message that says you feel your power returning, you feel a bit more experience. The power returning part is Veh giving you MP when you kill. And that's one of the passives of this god. So in this game you worship, most characters worship gods. Yeah, Deep Elf usually gets Firestorm before Depths, if it's playing this style. It's often, you can get Firestorm going like even at the end of layer if you train, you know, a pretty insane way. Or at least it's happened before. I don't know how easy that is to do. I've never really tried, but definitely like pre-vaults is not that difficult. So there, I did Sublimation of Blood, which self-damages me but gives me back a lot of HP. Just have to be really careful when doing that because obviously losing HP takes a while to regen it, and if you get stuck yeah, so you can see some monsters coming from the other direction, and that's kind of like the big risk. Looks like there's a lot that were kind of over here, so that's where I'm focusing on, but... Yogi with the host. Thanks, Yogi. Yeah, we're all watching, those Toad streams have been great. We're watching for when he... I mean, even if, you know, it doesn't happen soon for getting the record, just getting a completed run, because it's really fun to watch those. Really reminded me of watching DeCj Veh run Phantasy Star 4, just in terms of like anything could happen, and you're just like, what's going to happen? Got some undead going here. There we go. There's the good Sublime. Plenty of chunks. There's another Amnesia Scroll. What's our next spell? To get the axe. Mephitic Cloud is probably a pretty good candidate. Animate Dead. Actually think I need a lot of spell levels. So there's Blink. Blink would be a good spell to have. How are we looking for Control Blink? 6 spell levels left. So I need Control Blink is I need 2 more after this, and 13% without Wizardry. I'm gonna turn on some spell casting. We'll say 20. Firestorm is already down to less than the full Pips of Hunger. That's good. This is probably not the entirety of the level. We definitely drew a lot of it, but there's still plenty of things left. And when I see some like monster, I tend to Firestorm it because so those I don't know if I finished explaining that. The power returning is Veh's passive. So as I said, you worship gods in this game. They give you powers, some of which are passive. Those powers listed in red. Veh is the ultimate passive god. He is only passive powers. You don't ever like have a special ability with this god, and he'll gift you spells. You get power. You get MP from killing monsters. That's that message I was talking about. Aiding destructive magics is him giving you wizardry, and then he extends the range of your damaging spells. So all of your spells get a range increase of 1, which is pretty handy. So here's some more ugly things. And I'm just going to continue firestorming stuff, and that's one of the reasons why this spell is so good. You can just like hit things out of Los, kill them before they even see you. And if they can't see you, and if they have any ranged attacks of any kind, spells, doesn't matter what it is, they can't target you and they can't damage you. And obviously if they only have like melee attacks, they have to get adjacent to you to use those in the first place. But ooh, we got some shops. Here we go. Now we got the Blink Skulls. That's good. Those will be handy. We're on teleport. I'll go ahead and buy the teleport for right now. Jewelry shop. Another +5 int ring. Yeah, I auto-explored into these guys. These water elementals can hit you with an engulf attack, which is like silence, but shouldn't be too bad. I can just kill most of them. And kind of back off. -2 slaying ring. If I see a single monster and it looks like, that was 3 bolts of fire right there, wasn't too effective. Oh yeah, so Control Blink. Alright, we're not there yet. We're still 2 levels off before I can memorize that. Next thing we're really going to want to look at is, we really like a Staff of Energy.